against abortion because I think any human being is so a wonderful creature.
I'm against abortion because I don't. It's not that child's fault. I mean, you have another human being inside of you, and they don't know what's going on, you know. So no, I'm totally against it. I'm against it.
What about the baby?
The baby doesn't feel anything.
It may be easier to believe that the fetus doesn't have the ability to feel pain at the time most abortions occur, but it is not true. Featuring special guest Tawana Amon, Executive Director of Broward Right to Life and also a post-abortive woman, and Dr. Robert Sudmak, a successful obstetrician, gynecologist, and a former abortionist.
Truth number 2.
An aborted baby dies a violent, painful death.
The majority of abortions occur within the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. Many women don't understand that the unborn baby can feel pain and is sensitive to touch.
The baby has a brain, it has a nervous system, it has nerve endings, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put the dots together and realize that obviously the baby has the capacity to feel sensation and pain. In fact, when we do ultrasounds on many of these babies, when we want to try to get it to move, we'll jostle the woman's abdomen, and the baby does feel the sensations of movement and encouragement to move, and it in fact responds to that. Studies have also shown that the baby responds to music. It responds to sound. This is all a function of the baby's nervous system. So yes, the baby does feel and can feel pain.
The horrific nature of abortion is realized when we see the mounting evidence that points to the facts that the child feels pain and is sensitive to touch.
After reviewing testimony offered to a congressional committee, Senator Sam Brownback told fellow senators, "We now know that unborn children can not only feel, but that their ability to experience pain is heightened. The highest density of pain receptors per square inch of skin in human development occurs in utero from 20 to 30 weeks gestation."
When individuals find out what happens during an abortion and that the child senses touch and can feel pain, watching the silent scream is very difficult because the reality of what happens during this procedure becomes real. You see, the silent scream uses ultrasound technology to show what happens during an abortion procedure on a 12-week-old unborn baby.
This suction tip, which you can see moving violently back and forth on the bottom of the screen, is the lethal instrument which will ultimately tear apart and destroy the child. It is only after the fluid has been broken, the sac has been disrupted, that the tip will actually come against the child. But we can see the tip moving back and forth as the abortionist seeks the child's body. Once again, we see the child's mouth wide open in a silent scream in this particular freeze frame. This is the silent scream of a child threatened imminently with extinction. Now the heart rate has speeded up dramatically, and the child's movements are violent at this point. It does sense aggression in its sanctuary. It is moving away. One can see it moving to the left side of the uterus in an attempt, a pathetic attempt, to escape the inexorable instruments which the abortionist is using to extinguish its life.
Brenda Schaefer worked as a nurse in an abortion clinic in Ohio.
A partial birth abortion starts at 20 weeks and goes all the way to 40, of course, which is full term.
Brenda Schaefer, a nurse for 18 years now, explains what actually happens in a partial birth abortion, which is a 3-day procedure. On days 1 and 2, laminaria is applied to force the cervix to dilate. We pick up with what the abortionist does on day 3.
He turns the baby in utero to bring the baby's feet out first, and bringing them down with the forceps through the cervical canal. He then has both of the baby's feet on the outside of the mother. He begins to pull out the baby completely until he has everything except for the head on the outside of the mother. He then takes a pair of scissors and stabs the baby in the back of the neck and opens them up to make a hole in the back of the neck. And into this hole he puts a suction catheter, and he turns the suction machine on and literally suctions out the baby's brains. And at this point, the baby goes limp and it's dead. And he brings the head out and cuts the cord and just literally throws the baby into a pan. And that's how they do a partial birth abortion procedure.
The truth is that an aborted baby dies a violent, painful death. After reviewing testimonies involving just one method of abortion, Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia wrote, "The method of killing a human child is so horrible that the most clinical description of it evokes a shudder of revulsion."
Even the most graphic descriptions fall short of describing the sheer brutality of abortion. You see, I didn't know the truth about abortion when I had the procedure done. I didn't understand what happens to the unborn baby in the womb. When I found out that the unborn baby suffers, I was horrified. I was devastated. When I found out that it panics and it tries to escape the abortionist tools. When I found out that its heartbeat begins to accelerate. I wish I'd had the information. I wish I had been given the facts. I wish that I had known the truth.